So on to some case studies and some examples. This is where customers really want to hear about, well, I hear what you're talking about, great theory, but how are people leveraging it, and are they getting an ROI? Are they seeing the benefits? And the answer is absolutely. So here's a great quote from one of the automation leads at Mass General Brigham Hospital, where hospitals are at a point now where they're real businesses. They have to execute, and there's revenue. They have to generate a lot of outcomes related to their patient communities and things like that. So there's a lot of processes, a lot of data, a lot of telemetry within a hospital ecosystem. Having that access and visibility to that really helps them improve care, impact lives, even save lives, but more importantly, helps them operate more efficiently and effectively for their patients and making sure they're delivering not only the best care, but they're actually getting compensated for that care, and they're optimizing their resources to give the best value for their patient and health communities. So really interesting to see how Mass General is adopting this and using this to help drive better patient outcomes. Another regional hospital system took the technology and applied it to the emergency room. And what they were trying to understand was how many customers, or what's the likelihood of a customer coming into the emergency department and leaving without being seen. What does that mean? It means somebody came into the emergency room, wanted to be treated, but left before they actually received any initial treatment. Additionally, did they leave while receiving some treatment, but not the full treatment? And then understanding what is the length of stay. So this particular hospital system, and multiple hospitals have now applied this same technology to understand the emergency room department, to get an understanding of what is happening, why are people leaving, why are they abandoning the care, and what can they be doing to improve those overall outcomes. But this particular hospital system was able to identify circumstances that they could prevent the churn, or if there was churn of the patient leaving, they were able to optimize that ability to be more efficient and effective in managing the emergency department. And they were able to create an opportunity for $10 million of additional billing capacity, identified by understanding what is causing these patients to leave early, what is the prediction that a patient may leave without being seen, without being treated, and then therefore how can they optimize and leverage that bed capacity or that opportunity for another patient to be seen, or scale the availability of the services. But more importantly, they can now understand and predict on the revenue cycle, will they get paid for these services? What patients are likely to drop out and not fully compensate the hospital for the treatments that were made? Do they have all the insurance information? Do they have everything they need to do the proper billing and manage the revenue cycle with that patient engagement? This is all important and runs part and parcel with the overall process understanding of what's happening within that emergency department. And then now they actually are looking at ways to predict outcomes with these patients related to care. So this data is all there, and all this telemetry that these hospitals generate are a great use case for process mining and process discovery and things. Another one was on the compliance side, is a large financial services institution selling investment products to customers. They have a commitment and a compliance responsibility to monitor that the services and the products they are offering are not in conflict with their own internal objectives. So to make sure that they aren't targeting specific users and buyers with products and services that may not be optimized for that customer. So this particular financial services company had a staff of 16 people that had a goal of monitoring 15% of the transactions that were happening manually to assess them and evaluate and prevent any compliance risk, because the last thing they wanted was an investigation or to be in the Wall Street Journal for compliance issues that would then affect their ability to generate new revenues and continue selling these products. So what they were able to do is use this process discovery, process mining capabilities to now to understand exactly not just the 15% with the 16 people that they had staffed, but they were able to and actually monitor 100% of the transactions and scale the staff down to 3 people, which resulted in a direct savings of $2 million. So not only were they benefiting from full compliance, they were also benefiting from additional cost savings. They could reallocate those staff to more important other aspects of their jobs, but more importantly, give the CEO some assurances that we're not going to end up in the Wall Street Journal for a compliance risk or a bad case study. This case is really fascinating because this is where customers load data, and it's lovely to see when they understand where information is and the information they need to process, and they see an immediate response and value in this technology, identifying a bottleneck or a duplicate service or a problem within their environment. This is a large telecom company, and they have distributed global services of their technology throughout the world. And what they noticed when the first time they loaded a set of data, was that they were actually, when they would have a service call and they had to just roll trucks and service crews to go impact an outage somewhere, they realized that they were actually in various parts of the business were generating multiple service requests, generating multiple sets of crews to go out and solve the exact same problem. This company identified that immediately within the first 6 weeks of their loading this technology, leveraging this type of the process mining technology, and was able to save $8 million on that use case alone. So it's really important for them. This is the reality that customers face. When they understand what the data is and the facts and the reality, they can then drill into finding opportunities for improvement and automation to help make their systems more efficient and effective, but also stop them from doing things that were damaging their efficiency and effectiveness overall. So this was a great use case, which really speaks to the fact of being able to load data, see it in real time, and interact with it, and then have the tools that understand and explain why things were failing, or where the performance issues were, or where the bottlenecks were, or where they were duplicating effort to be able to respond to these customer service requests. On the insurance side, a large insurance carrier, obviously claims are really important. You can't have customer problems related to claims, because that will most likely end up in a churn for that insurance carrier. You love your insurance companies when you don't have to work with them, but all of a sudden when you do need them, you need them. And you want to have highly responsive, highly accurate information being sent back to you. So this insurance carrier was able to use the process discovery, process mining, and task mining capabilities to really look and understand, discover 99% of their non-standard execution processes within this claims process, and they could actually normalize that and standardize that and keep things from going to an exception queue and keep them going through the standard process, which meant they could control it, they could measure it, they could monitor it, and they could ensure the overall satisfaction for their insurance customers to prevent that churn. Because the last thing you want to do is not have a payment come on time, or not have visibility into what's the status of my claim. When will my car be fixed? When will my roof be repaired? What's the status of this information? It's very critical. High stress time for customers, and it's a great way for the insurance company to be responsive to the customers, making sure they're operating the most efficient and effective way to provide their services, but also be able to keep their customers and grow their customers. So really an interesting and important use case that we found. Then I'll go ahead and close on the case study side with just a great quote from Pfizer, because as Bernhard was speaking about the COEs and these citizen process experts and things like that, Pfizer really took this as a holistic view across multiple business processes and business units, and they really identified 160,000 hours of repeatable activities that they could automate and they could address. So it was a fascinating case study, because again, it goes to the fact that what data you're looking for, you know how to find the data, load the data into these tools, you now have visibility and understanding of what's happening. You combine that data load from the various systems with the task mining features and capabilities, and be able to understand, and when things were on the desktop and people were working within systems, moving data around, manually entering things and clearing things out and copying and pasting, you now see that. You have that visibility, and now under one tool, you can understand exactly what's happening in the end-to-end. So you can take the proactive steps to automate something, to correct something, to fix something. And that makes the system and the business much more efficient and effective. And that's what everyone's goal is here, is to not only just throw automation at things, it's really to automate the most important tasks, most important processes, to make sure to drive the best results for your business, for your customers, and for your partners. So that's a real fascinating aspect